Yo, what's up, everybody? Stand 'em up here. Today I'm going to be talking about UFC 284 Makhachev versus Volkanovski and Rodriguez versus Josh Emmett. I'm very excited for this card. It is in 3 weeks though, so this is kind of an early predictions and picks and predictions. So some fights might fall out, like Justin Tafa has pulled out against Parker Porter, but he's still here. So there might be a few other changes on the card. So keep that in mind. It's an early prediction, but let's just get into it. Islam Makhachev versus Alexander Volkanovski, champ versus champ. Volkanovski going up in weight to fight Islam Makhachev for the double champ status. Two guys with incredible records, 23-1 and 25-1. Volkanovski's only loss was at welterweight at those in the beginning of his career. Oh damn, my bad. Let's see. Yeah, in the beginning of his career, but since then he's beaten everyone at featherweight, so he's going up in weight. He's already 34 years of age, but he's only getting better at this point. Problem is, he's fighting Islam Makhachev, who is 5'10", who is huge for lightweight. He is big, he's strong, and he's a good fucking wrestler, man. And I feel like that will just be the downfall for Volkanovski. Volkanovski is short, and that means that it is harder to take him down. And he has been a rugby player from some 260 pounds or some shit. Ask Joe Rogan, he loves this fact. But I feel like Islam Makhachev, his striking is pretty good, his defense is amazing. He's very he's very calculated in everything he does. He is a guy that will strike with you for a minute and then will just try to take you down, get you against the fence. He loves the tight clinch, and like Khabib has said, the tight clinch will kill Volkanovski because he is so short. He can just grab him and knee him in the stomach and the head and everything. And yeah, I feel like Islam Makhachev will just win. Maybe he will have some problems in the first round, but I feel like Islam Makhachev is so big, he will just wear on Alexander. And Volkanovski does have amazing stamina, don't get me wrong, like amazing, like powerful bound, one of the best, in the game. The cardio is amazing, maybe even better than Holloway's. Against Brian Ortega, he showed to be real great, but Islam Makhachev, he's just big, he's very strong. I feel like he could get Alex just to the ground and keep him there. This doesn't. I don't know if this will go to decision, but if it will, both guys could go to the 5 rounds. Islam Makhachev will probably go for a submission, but like we've seen, Volkanovski isn't one to tap. Like I said, yeah. Makhachev is strong, he's big, he's a great wrestler, he has good striking and good defense, and I feel like he will just pretty much dominate this fight. In the first round it might get close, but after that I feel like Islam will beat him easily. Let's see what the fans think. 36% are going with Volkanovski, 64% with Makhachev. I feel like that's just more people hating on Makhachev and being fans of Oliveira than people actually thinking that Volkanovski will win. Don't get me wrong, he has a chance. He has good power, especially with a weight class up. He might win this, but I just don't see it happening. Islam is too big, too strong. Like I've said like 10 times in this video. I feel like he will just dominate this fight. Then we got Rodriguez versus Josh Emmett. For the interim featherweight championship, Volkanovski is going up in weight, so we need the interim title, and then the guy that wins the interim title will fight Volkanovski next. Let's see, Rodriguez, kind of a mixed record. The draw against or the disqualification against Jeremy Stevens, then he beat him 2 weeks later. Max Holloway lost pretty close though, and Brian Ortega win. He was doing pretty good against Ortega. He was lighting him up on the feet. He got taken down though, and he threw kind of a triangle or something, and that caused Brian's injury, which it's not that BJJ is so good that it caused the injury, but something happened in there, and it was caused by Yair. So he got the win deservedly. Now he's fighting Josh Emmett, a guy with good wrestling, and a guy that has a lot of power, like we've seen against Michael Johnson almost 4 years ago already. He was losing the fight, and one right hand got him the win. Mirsad Bektik TKO Shane Burgos, like almost KO'd him like 5 times in that fight. Then Ige by decision was close. Kelvin Kattar by split decision. I feel like Kattar won that fight, so I'm not too high on Josh Emmett. He has a close fight against Dan Ige, a very close fight against Calvin Kattar, but ultimately, in my opinion, he lost that fight. Yair Rodriguez, great striker, great kicks, great jab. Everything is good. He is kind of wonky though, which might make him do like a scissor kick or some shit, and he falls down. Josh Emmett just goes to the ground with him and keeps him there. Yair Rodriguez, he got dominated by Frankie Edgar, pretty sure to a TKO or decision, I can't remember. But even against Jeremy Stevens, who isn't a wrestler, he got held down there in the 3rd round. And against Max Holloway, who is far from a wrestler, he got taken down by Holloway like 6 or 7 times pretty easily. He had pretty good takedown defense against Brian Ortega, but that's Brian Ortega. He's far from a wrestler as well. He's just a guy that makes you try to take him down. Josh Emmett is a pretty good wrestler. He is pretty much a wrestler with a good overhand, and that might get him the win, but I feel like Yair Rodriguez has had enough time to get better grappling defense like he showed against Brian Ortega. His movement is good, his kicks are good, his distance management is pretty good, and I feel like that way he will be able to beat Josh Emmett. I feel like it will be a decision because Yair Rodriguez will not take too much chances with the ridiculous power Josh Emmett has. Emmett has the biggest power at featherweight. Ilia Topuria is pretty powerful too, but Josh Emmett is just ridiculous, man. Pound for pound, one of the hardest hitters in the UFC, and I feel like that's not getting talked about enough, but I don't think that this will get a win for him here. Yeah, Rodriguez by decision. Let's see what the fans think. 72% are going with Rodriguez, and 28% are going with Emmett. I feel like this is much closer fight than the Makhachev Volkanovski one. It's really all about the bias, in my opinion, because a lot of people like Rodriguez and not a lot of people like Josh Emmett, so they hope he'll win. So that's why they're going for him. Like I said, Justin Tafa is out of his fight against Parker Porter, so I will not be discussing that fight. So next up is Jimmy Crute versus Alonzo Menefield. A good one, very good one. I like this fight. Jimmy Crute 2-3 in his last 5, and Alonzo Menefield is 4-1 in his last 5, which is pretty good. But the opposition has not been the same. Let's see. Jimmy Crute has lost to Misha Serkinov, and Misha Serkinov is actually good. Beat Olejniczak, beat Bukauskas, lost to Anthony Smith. That was a bad one with the leg injury, and he lost to Jamal Hill, who's a champion right now. Alonzo Menefield last win. Misha Serkinov. Before that, Askar Mozharov. Like you guys see, 17-2, not the best guy. But if you guys don't know the story about Askar Mozharov, he pretended to have a good record, like 18-6. He's like Ukrainian, Russian. I don't know exactly what he is, but he had a false record. He tricked the UFC into getting a fight in the UFC against Alonzo Menefield. He got his ass beat in the first round. Alonzo Menefield dominated him on the ground easily. They got him the win. Mozharov has been confirmed to be 17-12 at this point, or 13 at this point, and he has been released by the UFC. Kind of a crazy story, but whatever. Before that, Menefield lost to William Knight. A very close fight. I felt like Menefield won that, but like I said, very close, and you should just be making it close against William Knight. Beat Ed Herman, beat Fabio Shramba von Vluchok, which kind of crazy, because Alonzo Menefield, you don't expect it from that guy. I would expect it much sooner from Jimmy Crute, but it is what it is. Jimmy Crute, 26, almost 27. Alonso Menifeld, 35. Jimmy Crute is a taller guy. He does not have the better reach though. The big reach. Alonso Menifeld has a bigger reach. He is the guy with much more power. He is the guy with a better stand-up. Jimmy Crute is very wild on the feet. He throws a lot of hooks and everything, but he's good on the ground, and he has said that he will be taking a more calculated approach, which will mean that he will hopefully go for the takedowns. And if he does, I feel like he could get a win here. Alonso Menifeld has been controlled on the ground by William Knight, which I really do not like to see. Jimmy Crute is a good wrestler, good grappler as well, and he trains with Whitaker and his teammate. I forgot his name, but he's pretty good as well. The teammate that is like 4-1 or 4-2 in the UFC is pretty good at middleweight. But yeah, I feel like Jimmy Crute will win this fight if he goes for the takedowns. If he decides to stand with on the midfield, he will get knocked the fuck out again. Jimmy Crute has some drinking problems from what I've heard. Those are behind him. Now he's doing well. He's training and he is being calculated, like he said. So I hope to see him grapple, and if he does, I feel like he could beat Alonso Menifeld pretty handedly. But still, on the feet, it's very dangerous to stand against Alonso Menifeld. Now we get Randy Brown versus Jack Della Maddalena. Now this is a banger of a fight, man. Wow, I got chills, literally just got chills. You can't see it, but I got chills for this fight, man. This is Striker's Paradise. Two guys that are real good, but different kind of styles. Randy Brown, 6'3", real thin guy, but he is a guy that loves to, keep the distance, go for the teeps, go for the jabs. He's 4-1 in his last 5. Last loss was against Vicente Luque, which happens. Vicente Luque is a beast. Alex Oliveira win rear neck choke with one arm, pretty impressive. Jared Gooden decision. I don't know how that went to a decision because Jared Gooden took some kicks, man. Beat Chaos Williams, beat Francisco Trinaldo. And now he's fighting Jack Della Maddalena, who is an amazing boxer, man. Wow, this guy is so good. 13-2. Pretty sure he was like 0-2, and like after that, or like 2-2 in his career, and then after that, 11-fight win streak to this point. No, he was 0-2, and now he has a 13-fight win streak. Like I said, amazing boxer. Pretty good ground game as well. I'm forgetting words here, but like I said, amazing grappler, amazing boxer, pretty good grappler as well. And I feel like the boxing will get him the win against Randy Brown. Randy Brown is a seasoned veteran at welterweight, but I feel like he just doesn't have the power to handle a guy like Jack Della Maddalena. He has good low kicks, he has good teeps, but I feel like Jack Della, if he has a good game plan, he could beat Randy Brown pretty handedly, go for the TKO. If he implements a style like Vicente Luque, but like more intelligent, like more moving in and out and that kind of stuff, I feel like he could beat Randy Brown. Jack Della's striking is very good. I'm very high on it. Defense is very good as well. Takedown defense is good. The grappling defense is good as well. So I am high on the guy. I feel like he could get this job done in the second round by TKO. Let's see what the fans think. The fans are in sync with me. TKO, 86% are going with Maddalena, and 83% of those 86% are going with a TKO. Well, I don't know, but 86% is that's a lot, but I feel like still Jack Della will win this fight. Then we got Jack Jenkins versus Don Shainis. Don Shainis has lost his last fight against, he came in on short notice, lost against Sodiq Yusuff. But before that, pretty good wins against alright opposition. Not the 1604, that's crazy. But pretty good guys. Jack Jenkins though beat a lot of alright opposition as well. To be honest, I don't know a lot about these two, but I feel like Jack Jenkins, he went to the Contender Series, won by ground and pound. I feel like this guy is the UFC sees more potential in him, and they just feeding Don Chains to him. I have no idea how this fight will go, but I'm going with Jack Jenkins here. Joshua Kulibau versus Milzik Bagdasaryan. This is a very close one. Joshua Kulibau will fight on home soil, while Milzik will have to travel for a long time. But I feel like still it's a close fight. Two great strikers. Milzik is an amazing kickboxer from Armenia. It's a close one. In my opinion, Milzik, if he just keeps the range, goes for the low kicks, goes for the jabs, tries to keep his range, he might win this fight, because Joshua Kulibau is kind of wild. Like, he won his last fight against Duho Choi, I think. Seng Hu Choi, my bad. By split decision. It wasn't a split though. He won that fight pretty handedly. But he is wild. He's very quick. He has a hard overhand. But I feel like if Milzik just keeps the range, goes for the low kicks, for the body kicks, I feel like he could win the decision here. Then next up we got Clayton Rodriguez versus Shannon Ross. I'm going with Clayton Rodriguez. He has been very hyped up. Lost his debut in the UFC, which in my opinion was robbery. Rodriguez and Shannon Ross, he isn't bad, but he isn't too amazing either. I'm going with Clayton Rodriguez. I'm going with a TKO in the second round. Loma Lugbemi versus Elise Reed. This is our Minister President, Mark Rutte. I don't know what he's doing there, but whatever. Loma Lugbemi versus Elise Reed. Elise Reed is pretty good Muay Thai fighter, but if we're talking Muay Thai in the women's divisions, we'll have to talk about Loma Lugbemi. Loma is small, but so is Elise Reed. Both guys are, like I said, good Muay Thai strikers, but I feel like Loma will beat Elise Reed pretty handedly. Because Elise Reed, she's good, but not too good. Loma is good on the ground as well, but amazing Muay Thai, so I'm going with her. Then we got Blake Builder against Shane Young. I have not been impressed with Shane Young whatsoever. I'm sure he's a cool guy, but I feel like Blake, good ground game, pretty alright striking as well. I feel like Blake should get this one done, maybe by submission. I don't know. Jamie Mullarkey versus Francisco Prado. I haven't really watched this guy, but 11-0, pretty good record. From Argentina, he's 20 years of age. Damn, he's just fought 3 weeks ago. Before that, 2 months ago. This is crazy. He's been beaten alright opposition as well. I'll have to look into this more. I have 4 weeks or 3 weeks to do so. A lot of people are going with Mullarkey. Mullarkey is very tough. He has beat a lot of good guys. So, I will go with Mullarkey for now. But to be honest, I just don't know enough about Prado to make a real prediction. Then we got Zubair Tukhugov against Elvis Brenner. Elvis Brenner, I have looked into this guy, and every time he's faced good opposition, he's lost. Zubair Tukhugov is pretty good opposition. I feel like Zubair will win this fight probably by decision, because he doesn't have the most power, and the grappling is too amazing either. So, and then the last fight, Tyson Pedro versus Modestas Bukauskas. Bukauskas, pretty sure he came in on short notice. It was revealed yesterday that he will fight against Tyson Pedro. In the UFC, he was 1-3. He beat Khalil Roundtree. Lost to Michal Olszewski, but it was pretty close. Got beat by Jimmy Crute by TKO. The guy wasn't too bad, but isn't too amazing either. The striking is alright, the grappling is alright, but Tyson Pedro, man, he's menacing in there. He hasn't faced any good opposition as of late. Almost 5 years ago, Safarov was bad. Ika Villanueva bad. Harry Hunsaker bad. They have been feeding cans to Tyson Pedro. Let's just be honest. The worst guys of each division, they just fed to him. Modestas, I feel like he shouldn't be in the UFC after those 2 fights he won at Cage Warriors. But like I said, they're feeding cans to Tyson Pedro, and they keep doing that. Modestas, I wouldn't say Modestas is a can, but Tyson Pedro, he's too good. All his wins have been in the first round, if I'm not wrong. But Modesta, he's tough though. Like his chin isn't too amazing, but he's tough. But still, I'll go with Tyson Pedro by first round TKO. Yeah, that's what I'll go with. So yeah, guys, that was it. Thank you for watching. I will do a more deep dive into the fights like in 2 weeks when it's UFC 284 fight week. But for now, that was it. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys later.